Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring some supposedly Neolithic concept. Yu is today's character and simplified compared to traditional looks just one additional soil symbol difference. And adding the soil can make it more specific. But compared with the mid-history, about 2,000 years ago's dictionary, the traditional Chinese looks more similar. Okay, the left side is the water symbol that we talk about, the stream and the five strokes to show the middle is a non-broken continuous flow and the side are broken. So that's how water behave in nature. That looks the stream in the water in nature. Okay, the right side is it's quite a complicated meaning. Okay, it means housing with house building with additional material left over. So it almost like with the ancient times of okay in today's world to be enough, we often have to shifting pole syndrome. Like when we make it to somewhere, we feel like the pole or the goal setting, the goal keeps setting higher, higher, never is enough, right? But in ancient times, the concept of you have additional, you have more than enough needed. That concept is associated with abundance, with like endless, unlimited, becomes unlimited. Just a little bit more, additional, extra. That point directly linked to boundless, unlimited resources. So this is an interesting concept. If I have time, I'm going to probably dive deeper into probably there's some philosophy tied to it. But here, visually, it just shows this. This is almost like a housing, right? A roof, and then we have this trident-looking thing, this shape that relates to plant growing, and we have two hands, like okay, this trident-looking thing, and two fingers holding this thing. So we're holding something, um, and supposedly to build the living quarters. So we can view it as, I guess, home building back then. And when you finish, when you have your own space, your own, I guess, single family house in today's standard, that you have a roof over your head, and you have the building material, some plant-based building material, and that's considered life as good. You already have addition, like more than enough. And this yu eventually extended into other meanings, like the self-referral, me, because I'm more than enough. Okay, that's the Chinese concept. One of the Chinese concept of me, and it means unlimited or extra, all tied up together. Um, so that extra concept paired with water become later very specific action of smear the surface of something. So instead of like a drawing, because drawing involves of um, drawing the outline and then filled with the color blocks, right? So it's a more accurate um, bordered drawing. This is smear. It's more free-formed, improvised. And why water paired with additional? I'm thinking of in ancient times, this character referred to mud. And I'm thinking, okay, it could be ancient housemaking, like adobe housemaking that you involved with to make your roof, to have a roof over your head, build up the walls to it before the invention of bricks, right? You instead of stacking up and seal them, you mud it up to build with mud that involves with water, involves with extra plant based, right? You need to have some plant, some fiber to hold the soil together, and you have that additional um, on to the structure you're building. And because it's not accurate, because mud itself is hard to control the shape, right? So it eventually extended into not adobe mud throwing to build that mud wall, but it's related to smear a surface um, of kind of impatient or improvised painting of something. Okay, so improvised painting, 涂鸦, is a Chinese way to say squiggling. You're just noodling or doodling. Okay, noodling is a musical term of improvised music, but doodling is drawing, improvising without thinking what you draw. And somehow Chinese use ya crow, um, bring that crow imagery to this doodling image. So I'm not sure if when people doodle, they doodle crows. No clue. But I would imagine 图 is more accurate here because it involves of this uncontrolled strokes of your imagery creation, and it's not carefully choreographed calligraphy or draw the outline carefully. It's a smeared drawing, and probably that smeared crow drawing was the beginning of doodling. Not sure, but 涂鸦 is how Chinese express its doodling. And eventually, when we have more understanding of the West, this 涂鸦 used specifically about graffiti, of this almost like carelessly a splash of colors and shapes on public structures, a surface. And that is compared to the Chinese doodling thing. So that's how Chinese translate graffiti. 生灵涂炭, 生 means living things, 灵 means spiritual things. And things with life, with soul with them, what's the result? Is smeared charcoal. 涂炭 means they become smeared charcoal, meaning it's imagine the pillage of a village back then, that the living things of your, suppose your enemy camp got burned up, and the living things are gone and became charcoal. That's the imagery. Describe the horrors of war. 涂脂抹粉. Okay, so now we have the smear and the fat and dust powder. Okay, well, it doesn't really make sense. This fat, this 脂 actually means, I guess, a fat-based, or I guess animal based, I guess, animal oil or animal paint, related to almost like a paste, a type of paste. And then you're going to smear the paste, and then you're going to dust the powder on your face. Okay, so this is a Chinese 涂脂抹粉, is a Chinese way, almost in a derogative way to say somebody is wearing makeups, applying makeups as if you're smearing a fat or ointment, and like lipstick, right? And 抹粉, like a powder your face, like carelessly, casually, with clumsy hands. That's the imagery that's created, because we have to be too like smears, not carefully outlined. And the 抹粉, 抹 is also like wipe the surface with pretty rough. It's not a fine motor movement. It's more bigger motor movement, and you can see the result as well. It's not carefully, well prepared face makeup. So that's 涂脂抹粉 Chinese way. So this expression not only applies to makeup, but it can also mean embellishment. of something on the surface, while the foundation or the core of something is already like unsalvageable. So for example, we can use that as like a regime or a government that it's already kind of corrupted or bankrupted, and that the government still want to put up an imagery of it's still running strong, well organized, still have a lot of life in it, even if it's at the end of its life. So then they will do this 图纸模粉, like a superficial decoration to, I guess, deceive the public, to project a public image that's totally not the truth. So that's 图纸模粉. It's a surface level, I guess, a facelift comparable instead of having real rejuvenate power. You're just do a facelift on the surface level, fix something quickly. But in the core, it's the opposite what you see on the surface. Here is a graffiti image, and that's our Chinese pair it with. That's 图 smear. Thank you for your time. See you another day.